Yes, guys, we're live, and yeah, it's the European football show. Do forgive me, I am so late. I was absolutely knackered. Yeah, but we've got Stephen, Olympiacos fans back on the channel, and we've got Niall as usual and talking Barca. How are you? How are you guys doing?
London,
good, thank you, man.
London is red because of Olympiacos, not Arsenal, but yeah.
A lot of Greeks would probably agree with you.
we're not even going.
What happened last year? I need like a memory.
No, we don't need a reminder, thank you. No, we don't.
Do we not need a reminder? My mind's gone black. Wasn't it like a last minute winner at the Emirates?
If you may not notice, this guy's just a wind-up merchant.
Oh, they were the times. They were the times. Well, I enjoy it. You know it.
Yo, yeah, you lot played well, Steven. I'm not gonna lie, you lot completely out. You lot completely dominated them.
Yeah, but like with Arsenal, we completely dominate someone and still lose.
This is true.
They were trying to they were trying to like undo their good because like they almost like Harry Kane almost scored a free kick in the last 10 minutes. For the if it was not for the Gabriel block, you would have like drawn the game. To be fair.
Oh no.
Yeah, Tottenham deserved nothing out of that game. Tottenham deserved nothing out of that game.
Jose Mourinho, the dinosaur is finished.
Look, simple as this: the Tottenham was shit.
I'm just waiting for
Tottenham were appalling.
I'm just waiting for a Socrates hat trick, if I'm being brutally
honest.
Oh my God! Score a hat trick. Goodness me. I mean, scoring 3 goals is going to be difficult. At least to score 1 is going to be like, nah.
Yeah, but it's against Arsenal, isn't it? He's going to be like motivated. He's going to be like, let's do this, boys. Let's do it. I'm going to show them.
Why he's one of our best players last week.
You seriously?
Huh?
Why do I invite you, honestly?
What? Are you telling me that Olympiacos couldn't get 3 corners and Socrates put the ball in the net 3 times?
I don't know, they can't, but I'm sure
if they don't mark him 3 times and they score from a corner free, yeah, sure, why not? Why not? I wouldn't say no. I'll take that.
He's going to come in, he's going to catch it with a bicycle kick.
I mean, no, I didn't go that far.
Yeah, okay. Right. Well, let's start there. Actually, let's start there. Actually, let's start with Arsenal versus Olympiacos, the second leg. Obviously, Arsenal 3-1 up going into the tie. Do you see any comebacks? I know we're doing a preview tomorrow about it. Do you see any sort of comeback briefly?
I mean, if we dig deep and we have the players at our disposal that are coming back from injury, which at the moment is doubtful, maybe a win, but certainly not winning by 3 goals and keeping a clean sheet. I can't see that, but anything's possible. I'm not too confident. I'd just like to see us perform, and if we did the impossible, then I would be ecstatic, but it's not likely.
Unfortunately, Stephen would not be able to ever come on YouTube ever again, especially if I'm lurking around.
Yeah, I'd have to deactivate this the YouTube channel.
I'll find a way. I'll send you a letter. It really, for me, it really depends on how Arteta approaches it. If Arteta approaches it in a way of, we've already won, I'm going to rotate, then you might be in for one heck of a nasty surprise. Also, if the players go into that game thinking we're 2-0 ahead on aggregate, we've got 3 away goals, we're laughing to the bank, then you might be in for a rude awakening. So you have to, for me, Arsenal have to get an early goal. Because if you get an early goal, that's pretty much your tie gone.
I agree.
That's tie done.
But if Olympiacos get an early goal, then the nerves will set in. then the players will start doubting. Then you might get sort of mistakes that Arsenal are prone to doing. The likes of Xhaka and Leno will be mistake central, really. And that's what I mean. If you get an early goal, tie's gone to bed. If Olympiacos get an early goal, then the tie is up for grabs. Then.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you saw. Hang on, I'll just say just a second. When you saw the Arsenal Spurs game, even though Spurs had a player sent off, that last 10 minutes, you saw Arsenal struggling to keep a lead.
Yeah.
Right? Then a number of opportunities that Tottenham got in that last 10 minutes because we have got no such thing as game management. So, it's what the boss is going to say.
Oh, Steven, surely he has to start Aubameyang though this game. Like, if the issues really tough, like he should like start Aubameyang in this game.
Do you know what? I'd start Martinelli and all this, but I'll tell you what, Arteta, I don't know what side he's going to pick. Right? He'd probably pick the same side that he picked third week in a row. Right? He'd probably pick the same side that he's played week in, week out for the last 2 weeks.
I think El Neni will play. I think he'll probably play El Neni. I think he'll play Pepe over Saka. I don't think we'll see Saka starting. He looks absolutely.
I think we'll see Martinelli on the bench, maybe. Yeah, on the bench.
You'd be lucky to see Martinelli even anywhere near squad. It looks like.
Isn't that what we said last year? Quick going on.
Last year was different circumstances, and not as big a gap that we had to try and overcome, and also we. Over the weekend, we've sustained 2 more injuries. You know, Hassan, our backup keeper, who normally comes on as an impact player, is a doubt. Mathieu Valbuena is also a doubt. Ousseynou Ba, who was
that's going to be a big miss.
Ousseynou Ba, who was almost fit for the Arsenal game in Berea and didn't end up playing, is also a doubt. So we're looking at maybe playing Kenny Lala at centre back, who's our right back, and playing. One of our youngsters, Andrutsos, right back instead, so that we can have Mvia in midfield. Because the big problem last time round was Mvia was at centre back, and there was no coordination or anything between the defence and the midfield, which is what he's been best at doing. So there was huge gaps that Arsenal punished. So we're kind of wearing a bit thin at the moment, unfortunately. If we can get some players back fully fit, it gives us a better chance of performing. But currently, my expectations are low in the ground just because of we have half our squad's slowly falling apart.
I think obviously we'll go into more detail to more about it, and do you know this? The master comeback is not. It's not happening. It might. I know what Arsenal are like. Right, honestly, like I said, that's what happened last year. Right. And let's just put it this way: this guy thinks we're going to win the top. This guy thinks we're challenging Man City next season.
Wow.
Well, you're in for a bit of a shock when next season comes around, aren't you?
I know, and I said I'm going to hold you to that.
The only team that I've ever
go check one of the new vids out that I've just put out last night. Like this, I think second to last one. Right, that's my reaction to it. I go on about a 10-minute rant.
The thing is, like, I've only ever seen one team in English football go from lower than you were to win the league, and that's Leicester City Football Club. The chances of Leicester City Football Club and that happening again, but I'm not going to say it will never happen again because it will happen again. But it certainly isn't going to be from Arsenal because you haven't got the mentality or the players and the manager. Like, if you think Leicester City had Claudio Ranieri, right? You've got Mikel Arteta.
AKA Tapas Phoenix.
AKA
put respect on Pulis's name. Respect it.
Arsenal just got so many issues that we need to fix.
That is another stream entirely.
Steven, if you sorry. Who would you like to join the quarterfinals if you went through? Granada? Would you like to join Granada?
It'd have to be someone so easy.
Yeah, that probably means Granada then.
Yeah, but the thing is, do Arsenal fans realistically think you can go and win the Europa League?
Some do.
Well,
I
he's
think
beaten
some
them. I'm just saying, we're beaten in one game. Well done.
Quick Guna saying, hey, respect Arteta. He's been beaten all the best managers in the Premier League, just hater. Look, I don't think Arteta's good enough either. And that's not because I'm a hater. It's because I have absolutely... So my team's currently in English League 2, League 1. We're pretty far down the pyramid. So I've got no like hate to anyone, really. You just haven't... Arteta hasn't got the man management skills for me to be working at a big club. Tactically, he's all right, but then his man management skills. You look at Guendouzi and all of that. Arteta's just a prick. If I'm being brutally honest with you, and the last time I checked, pricks didn't win leagues. Pep's not a prick. Pep has a demand that he is respected, and that's not because of who he is. It's because of what he's done. I mean, that's just the most delusional comment I've ever seen in my life. Wow.
No. That's not happening, mate.
Nice.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
This
is why all the fans in our league take the piss out of us. Even Plymouth fans take the nick out of us. Because we win one game and they go absolutely deluded. And when you get realistic fans like me who try and run a channel, you get the fireballs that come on and say, "Oh yeah, but your fans have said this, your fans have said that," and I'm like, "I have never said this. Leave me alone."
Steven. Maybe quick Gunnar is DT's burner account because he loves Arteta too much. Maybe that's the case.
Is that the guy? Is that the guy that was on your channel?
Oh God, yeah.
He's found you. Secret of my life. Well, anyway, let's get moving. Let's Man City versus Mönchengladbach in the Champions League. I see that pretty much done deal.
I think that's comfortable. It's comfortably City.
Yeah, that's I don't see them winning.
Well, I look back at Mönchengladbach's previous results. They haven't won a game since end of January, and that was against Dortmund. They're in a really poor form, Mönchengladbach. It's just crazy.
Someone says 5-0 City.
That's actually not a question. Yeah,
that's not a question. I mean, Man City are one of the favourites. I've tipped Man City to win it. For me,
I have absolutely no idea who DJ is, so just chucking that out there. I have absolutely no idea who you are.
Yeah. Please subscribe if you are new. Anyway, you'll find him here for the F1 on the weekend whenever the F1's on.
Excellent. I love
these. On a Monday at 4. Real Madrid Atlanta as well this weekend as well. I think they're 1-0 up on the Real Madrid, and Atlanta I think were unlucky. So I could see Atlanta could do something there. I do think they can. What do you think?
Atlanta 2-0, man. I really do go through, in my opinion.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Atlanta will go through.
What do you think, man?
It's a tough one. It's very close. I think Real Madrid have got more injury problems than I can imagine. Zidane seems to have lost all sorts of magic. It's okay, Stephen. You can keep DJ. They're not watching my streams anymore. But no, it's going to be a tough one. I think Real Madrid will probably sneak it through, maybe 1-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's disrespectful, and you really shouldn't be saying that when your team is dog shit in the Premier League.
Which one? Have you seen the video that's just come out about your search history? Go check it out. It was funny last night. It was funny as hell because we were going on about how he didn't look up Kabak like the second they knew about Kabak about the second day before they got him, right? And he said, "No, we knew him all before." I said, "Yeah, let me check your search history then, right? Let's see you didn't search him up like the second day before." And he's like, "No, you'll find some weird shit on it."
I mean, I personally would never let anyone go through my search history because that's private. Well, Stephen, would you let some random person check out your search history?
No, to be honest.
I mean, if they did, all they'd find is just really random Greek players that haven't played for Olympiakos in like 5 years or something. For me, like, I'm just
all they find in my search history is StreamYard and YouTube Studio, and that's about it. Just like sorting out the streams.
I'll Google when I'm googling pictures of players to put them on thumbnails.
So you want Atalanta? I mean, Real Madrid have looked solid,
yeah,
unspectacular. But I mean, you probably put Real Madrid to go ahead of Atalanta. But you know, I'd love to see an upset. It's great to have a team like Atalanta in the Champions League.
That's true, to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a toss-up between the two, between Ronaldo and Messi. But yeah, moving on to Wednesday's Champions League games before we go to Europa League again. Chelsea versus Atletico Madrid.
They're bottling the title,
comeback.
Atletico.
Yeah, they are following. And Chelsea, like their game plan last time in the first leg worked to perfection.
Yeah, I see that again as well.
Yeah. What do you think, Niall? Do you think Chelsea can hold on and get through that? Do you think Chelsea can get through that?
To be fair, right?
It's a tough one.
Yeah, Atletico have got like I think they have got like Trippier and Carrasco and Llorente back. They got like 3 or 4 players back already. They're key players back, so I can see them making a comeback. To be fair, and going through.
Okay.
So it's only a 1-0 lead at the moment. If you're asking me, can Atletico Madrid get a goal at Stamford Bridge? Of course they can. Can they get 2? Yes, they can. Can they mount a comeback? Of course they can. It really all depends on other things. It depends on how Chelsea perform. But no, it's an interesting one. It's okay. I've seen their comments. They did get blocked last night from my channel. So no, they were just annoying my panel. So I have absolutely no idea who it is.
I'm gonna go, if you come like that, I'll block you as well. Oh my god, I don't need it. Bayern Munich, Lazio, and Bayern Munich. Well, that's. Should we just not even go into that one? That's a done deal. That's
Bayern. It's all Bayern.
It's all Bayern Munich, that one, right? And again, one of the favourites to win the tournament. But then again, no one's won it back to back apart from Real Madrid, I believe. So let's go back to today. We've got where's the Europa League? Okay. Europa League. Thursday, sorry. Thursday, obviously, we've gone through Arsenal and Olympiakos. Dynamo Zagreb versus Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham 2-0 up already in that game.
Yeah, I think that's Spurs. I think they're already comfortably ahead, and even if they don't win, I don't think it'll be enough to turn the tie on its head. I'd be surprised, but yeah, I think Spurs will go to the quarterfinals.
Do you think Arsenal? No. He won't even qualify.
It depends on if Arteta's doing it via Football Manager or FIFA. If he's on one of them, then then it's always possible. But in real life, not a hope in hell's chance.
That's what Arteta must obviously do before they actually think that when they start thinking about these thoughts of Arteta actually doing it in 3 years, they're thinking, oh yeah, it's just like FIFA.
Yeah, well, yeah, and this really annoys me when people try and talk to me about football and about transfers and all that crap. I'm like, okay, so you want to do all of that? They're like, yeah, well, Mason Greenwood can play up front. I was like, yeah, but he's spent his entire professional career playing right wing. And they were like, well, yeah, but he's played striker as a kid. I was like, yeah, but that's completely different.
That's what I find really weird. That's what I find really weird about them. It's really strange that they're playing certain players that were starting for them in one position and just playing.
Well, Greenwood's always been one that they wanted to move up front anyway. They've always wanted him to be a striker anyway. It's just obviously when he first came in, they needed to fill a gap on the right. Greenwood has always and mostly been a striker throughout his entire life. But he wasn't built like a striker, if that makes sense. When he first came in,
I mean,
it was a tiny little lad that would absolutely get destroyed by centre backs, and he bulked himself up a bit. But obviously, as anyone who actually understands football would be able to tell you, it takes a bit of time to adjust going into a different position, especially when you spent a year and a half playing sort of on the right wing. But then I was having a debate with one. They went, well, yeah, but Football Manager says he can do both. And I'm like, yes, that's because he can, but he's going to need time to learn. Now, give him some time to learn and stop being a twat.
Same with Rashford as well, though. They've shifted Rashford out onto the left, and I found that quite fascinating because I always felt like he was most productive as a striker. But apparently it's a strange one, Rashford.
He's better on the left, believe it or not. I mean, I watched all the English teams like pretty much all the time. I have nothing else to do. Lockdown is killing us. But Rashford, he's better when he's on the left because it means that he can cut in and shoot on his right. Because Ollie likes to play with inside forwards, inverted wingers type things.
Of course.
So Rashford actually perfectly suits being on the left. Greenwood can play on the right, and he does a good job there. But Ollie and almost anyone that has sort of worked with Greenwood has always said that when he's in his prime, him up front in between the posts is going to be absolutely difficult to deal with. He just needs people around him with better football IQ. Because I was watching the game against West Ham, and Greenwood loves to move. Like, he loves moving around that front line. You saw a lot of it where he's dropping deeper and Bruno's going into the striker role. And he did it against AC Milan last week, where him and Diallo, if Mason went over to the right, Diallo would go up front and sort of fill that gap. Dan James doesn't offer that. Dan James doesn't have the IQ of, oh, Mason's come over here, so I need to go over there, because Ollie also likes a fluid front line. He always sort of has. But Dan James hasn't got the experience or the know-how to really deal with it.
Yeah. If they played the way they played against us, they had no way winning 2 trophies.
There's a potential for one of them. 2 is an ask, I think, for Spurs.
Yeah, and one of them ain't the one in the final for.
I think they'll win the Carabao Cup, and that's not because I think they're better than City. I think when you put Jose Mourinho
in a one-off
game against Pep, I just feel that Mourinho may have that slight edge. But then, would it surprise me if City went and battered them? No, of course it wouldn't.
No,
it's Tottenham. But would I be surprised if Spurs go on and win the Carabao Cup?
Yeah. Back to it. We'll go to Manchester United. Because obviously there was also just a comment about Donny van der Beek apparently wants to leave. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
it's not Donny van der Beek, Donny van der Bench.
No, he doesn't want to leave.
It's the most expensive. It's the most expensive bench warmer I've ever seen.
No. People.
What about Kepa?
This is where people really need to think a little bit about certain things, and I'll briefly explain it. He doesn't want to leave at all. Donny has come out and said himself that he isn't physically ready. He isn't physically ready for the Premier League. We all know how physical the Premier League is. It's the most physical league in the world. He's not ready for that, so he's been put on an individual training program to bulk himself up, a bit like what they did with Mason during lockdown. And he's working well with that. And yeah, so that's a lie. But then I want to take you to Kai Havertz and Werner. They've been playing, and they've been, to put it politely, dog shit, right? To put it politely, right? Ollie's doing a different approach. So they're continuing to play, and people are slating them for their performances. Ollie's not wanting to have Donny slated by absolutely everyone, because he knows what will happen. He'll play him, Donny won't do as well, won't impress people, and then he'll get slated by the media, slated by the fans, rivals, and all of that. So what Ollie's doing is he's protecting Donny until Donny's ready to go into that environment. And I actually think that's a better approach. He's sensed and seen that Donny isn't ready for the Premier League. And
it takes even just one performance as well. It only takes one performance to set him off.
And I think you'll see him a lot next season. And also you have
especially
to
if Popper goes as well.
Yeah, and you have to think of the formation United use. They use a double pivot, which doesn't really suit Donny too well, because he's more box to box, a bit like Scott McTominay, but Donny's just much better at having the ball and being technically gifted. If United were to get a proper DM, that would free up one of them midfielders to be a box to box, which Donny is most effective. He's not a Bruno. He's I don't think he's a 6. He's more of an 8. He's one that will just run between the boxes and do a good job. So I think you'll see him a lot next season if United get a proper DM and Ollie's able to then develop his tactics a little bit more.
Okay. Obviously, speaking of Man United, they've 1-1 with AC Milan, and this is one of the ties of this round in the Europa League. Two of the favourites going against each other. So, who do you think is going through that one? My money's on AC Milan.
AC Milan have the away goal. You could so easily see Manchester United's kind of shithousing a win. I would like Milan to go through. But
because the way I've seen Man United play, especially against West Ham, if they play like that, they're going to get slaughtered.
They won't.
Honestly, they were poor.
They won't play like that, and they've also got players back fit. If you think they had no Rashford, Martial was injured at half-time. I think Cavani's back now.
Yeah, Cavani's back now.
I think United will win. We look at United's away record in the Ollie era. It's exceptional. I don't think there's a manager out there with a better away record than Ollie. And the San Siro, look, if there were fans in there, I'd be like, whoa, this is going to be a really difficult game for you guys. And you lot are really stupid for considering.
Is it at the San Siro or is it one of the neutral stadiums though?
No, it's I think
I think it's at San Siro, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
I think it's at San Siro.
AC Milan.
But United, for me, okay, the thing is, can they score against AC Milan? Absolutely. They had some golden chances. I mean, Dan James and Maguire
at San Siro
spring to mind there. So I see United winning it. I think it will be a tough game, but it might even go to extra time. But I would say probably 2
Zlatan is back as well.
United. But that's excellent. But Zlatan isn't the same Zlatan he was years ago.
Yeah. I understand that.
That's like saying Dennis Bergkamp has just put on an Arsenal shirt and he's back. I mean,
he'd probably do. Hang on, he'd probably do better than some of Arsenal's players, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but he certainly wouldn't be the same Bergkamp that
he'd do better than that. Yeah, we'd do better than that.
But no, I think United can get a positive result. I think.
Quick, you might not know who Dennis Bergkamp is. He's actually a proper player, right? An actual title winner.
But yeah,
Just
no,
put it out
I
there.
think United should probably go through 2-0. I'd say 2-0. I mean,
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked by that. I wouldn't be.
Yeah. Which one should we go for next?
It's a good try though. When I saw I did the reaction, I actually did the draw live on my channel. And the minute I saw AC Milan picked out, I was like, yes, boys, finally a good time.
Yeah, because I was on that, we were on that stream, and then like obviously Olympiacos Arsenal come out, and I'm like, oh fuck, not again. Part of me's like, I just got visions of last year, and I'm like, oh no.
Rangers, have they 1-0 down in their tie?
No, it's 1-1. I don't know if they.
The Rangers are 1-1.
But I don't know who has the away goal or not. I can't.
Yeah, Rangers have the away goal because they're playing the return leg at home.
Okay.
So Slavia Prague. Rangers are good.
Prague.
Yeah, they knocked out Leicester, and Leicester are no slouch. I mean, I know they've got their sort of injuries with Harvey Barnes and James Maddison and James Justin
and Vardy as well as
injuries. He's not injured. He's just all alone.
Well, he's nursing one. He's returning from injury. Yeah.
Yeah, he's returning from an injury, and he's sort of all on his own.
Why is it no one gives Rangers any sort of?
Well, they're undefeated.
They're undefeated in Europe. Rangers have been really good this season. Only conceded 9 goals.
Yeah, Rangers for me, if they beat Slavia, I wouldn't be surprised by that. I wouldn't. I think Steven Gerrard has done what I said Frank Lampard should have done, which is he's gone to Scotland, or not necessarily Scotland. You can do this in the Championship or something like that. But he's gone to Scotland. He's sort of learned how to be a manager, because there's obviously things you're going to learn on the job, like how to deal with players, the coaching, the training, and all of
Something that Arteta should do.
Yeah, well, I also said that about Arteta. But no, he's doing a fantastic job, and this Rangers side are very strong. And it wouldn't surprise me if they get to the quarters, and if they get maybe what I want to see is Arsenal versus Rangers, because that will tell me where Rangers are. Because if Arsenal win convincingly 2-3-0, then there is still that massive gap between Scotland and England. But if Rangers end up and chucking you out of the Europa League one-handed, then that is going to be firstly very humiliating for yourselves. But also, it will make people sort of sit up and go, "Whoa, Scotland's quite good now."
Yeah, no. But then to be honest, you say, "Well, Scotland's quite good." They have just knocked out Arsenal with a 10th. I'm struggling to just get in the UEFA Conference League.
Yeah, but how many people?
The thing is that like this is the difference. Even if Olympiacos got knocked out of this tie, they win their title, they go to the qualifying rounds of the Champions League, and if not, that go to the Europa League. We're sitting there. We're not even going to be in their competition next season. We're going to be in the Conference League, the lower.
How many times have English fans said Rangers and Celtic wouldn't even get into the top 10 of the Premier League?
If
they manage to knock Arsenal out, and let's not be sort of fooled by where you are in the table. You should be much higher than where you are.
I said if they played, they've got the potential to knock them out.
I would say that you're probably a top 6 side, maybe 7. Well, maybe 7 actually, because I'd put Leicester above Arsenal at the moment. But no, I think that would be a really, really good tie.
Yeah. Shakhtar Donetsk, Roma 3-0 up. So that's pretty much.
I can see a comeback though. Who knows? Roma have a very good habit of bad habit of bottling in Europe when it comes to this sort of thing.
If I get a comeback, then you should get a comeback.
We'll see. We'll see. I thought this would be a bit closer as high than it initially ended up in the first leg. Because Shakhtar are a decent team and Roma are a solid side as well. But Shakhtar have a good knack of beating bigger teams in Europe, especially in the group stages this season in the Champions League. And yeah, I think let's be realistically, Roma should go to the quarterfinals. But it would be quite funny to see Shakhtar come back. But we'll see.
You never know, stranger things have happened in the Europa League already this season. Villarreal's Dynamo Kiev.
Your
And,
old manager, Steve.
and again, it's 2-0 up for Villarreal.
Yeah, well, can you really
Good
be
evening.
surprised? I mean, Villarreal have got an excellent manager, which I thought Arsenal fans were disgusting. Not you, Stephen, but I thought Arsenal fans in general were the most vile pieces of crap in my life, because Unai is a very, very respected manager in almost every country. Like, everyone respects Unai Emery. He's won multiple Europa League.
I will say this: when he left, when he was sacked, I wanted him gone because the football was not great. Like, the football was getting worse, and the decisions he was making, it looked like he wanted to leave. And the players weren't playing for it. He lost the dressing room, the players weren't playing for him anymore. So for me, I gave him all the way up to the Crystal Palace game. When I saw the Crystal Palace game, it just made it clear to me that he has got no control of what's going on the pitch and what the players are doing. So for me, I wanted him gone at that point because he wasn't getting any better. It was getting worse.
It says a lot about your players. It really does.
Yeah.
I've never liked your players. I've always thought that there was something.
But then people keep comparing Arteta to him, and I'm like, yeah, but when Emery got sacked, he only lost 3 games. You lot, like, the Arteta's lost double the amount at that point, and yet you're still saying Arteta's better.
Arteta will lose the dressing room soon enough. I mean, he's already lost like.
Yeah, because he's trying to act like he's Jose Mourinho, and the problem is Jose Mourinho's got a massive CV, so he can act like that and get the respect.
He's trying to act like Pep. And
guys, by the way, if anyone, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, please. It really would help. And go subscribe to Niall's Let's Talk Premier League. And do you have a channel, Steve?
No, I haven't got a YouTube channel, but I'm on Twitter at Steve Contura, and also I represent Hellas Football, which is also the Twitter handle below me here right now. And so definitely go follow me on Twitter, follow Hellas Football on Twitter.
Yeah, go follow them.
You can find Let's Talk Premier League on TikTok as well, where we update all our funny clips on there, which is we've currently got one about me ranting about Harry Maguire. You've got Dom ranting about Martial, and then you've got me and Sauls taking the mick out of Cantona's karate kick against the Palace fan.
I'm not on TikTok, but we're also on Facebook, Periscope. We stream live to Periscope, Twitch, and Facebook, and and any sort of clips that we do we go straight back onto YouTube, as a clip. And plus Luca, give you a shout out. He's 54 away from 700, so go give him a subscribe as well. Who's winning tomorrow?
The answer to Luca's question is yes, I do have a channel. It's Let's Talk Premier League.
Yes, Let's Talk Premier League at the bottom there. And finally, we're going to do Mulder Granada. And Granada are 2-0 up.
Plucky little team, Mulder. Keeping their coefficient alive, but yeah, it's Granada for me.
Yeah, that's nailed on.
I'm a bit gutted for Ollie, because it would have been nice for Ollie to have gone to mould with United, but fairy tales don't always happen, as Arsenal fans well know.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll lines up for 10 or 15 minutes, and before we wrap it up. So if anyone wants to have their say on things, they can do. Just quickly put it in here.
Got international break after this, haven't we?
Yes, we do.
I think so.
This weekend should be an interesting.
I think the Premier League has one more weekend, a few fixtures. I think certain teams aren't playing and certain teams are, and then after that it's international.
We're playing West Ham still next weekend.
We've got FA Cup as well. Don't forget. So the teams that are still in the FA Cup don't have another Premier League game. They've got the FA Cup, then it's the international break. Arsenal, obviously, you got dumped out the FA Cup, didn't you? By
Yeah,
Southampton.
we've got West Ham. We've got West Ham and Villa got Tottenham, and it's at London Stadium as well.
Yeah, that's not going to be an easy.
I think we'll go back to normal. We won't win that game.
But Jesse Lingard has just had a week off now because he couldn't play against
I
United.
know. I'm telling you, like they're going to screw us.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Right, and then it'd be like that again. Said, yeah, all right, you beat the best managers in a one-off game, but you can't beat all the teams below him.
That's the issue.
It's all right beating the big clubs in a one-off game. It's just if you're going to win the title, there's only 6 big teams, but there's 14 other teams that are lower than you, and you should be beating them.
Your away form, your consistency is absolutely horrific.
Atrocious.
It's about consistency. To get anywhere, you need consistency.
I suppose that's the one thing that Ollie's sort of got. He has been fairly consistent.
This season, certainly.
I know there's been a couple of ups and downs. Obviously, the draw against West Brom, the loss to Sheffield United, the draw and the loss to Palace. I know things haven't been plain sailing, but you look at what he took over and where they are now. I just don't understand how any United fan on this planet is like, I want Ollie gone. Like, firstly, he hasn't got a team that's anywhere near challenging for shit yet. But what he's achieving so far, in my opinion, deserves credit and deserves a chance.
It's going in the right direction, certainly. Yeah. I think United is. I'm one of those people who I'm not quite sure Ole will win the title with Manchester United. I could be wrong, and if I'm proved wrong, then I'd be happy to be proved wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, just something about Ole United. It almost feels like Liverpool were like last decade or two. You know, really exciting team, really great individual players, but just could never take it to the next level. Maybe win a cup, maybe win a European trophy. And be outside favourites, you know, it's something like that. United are
you absolutely need to get past the semi-final. I mean, that's as clear as day. But I think if you add a centre back, a DM, and a right winger, maybe even a striker, I think Ollie may actually surprise some people. And the bigger issue is not Ollie. Ollie is not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is the Glazers.
Talk about let him finish, and then you can go.
The biggest issue is the Glazers, right? It's the same with Arsenal. Arteta isn't the biggest issue here. Of course, he's an issue, but he's not the biggest issue. Your issue is the Concaves. You look at Man City and how they're sort of they're built and managed, and what they've achieved is because they've got the right people in the right places. They've got footballing people who understand football. United have only just gone and done that. I mean, a lot of what United's been doing in recent years, they've had Ed Woodward discussing and negotiating transfers. The man has no idea about football. The man has more of a financial background, and if you want to make money and make a lot of money, Ed Woodward is the best person for it. He's world class at it. But now they've got football people in charge of the football. It will be interesting to see, especially what this summer transfer window is like for United, because if things go well and they get some good players in, then clearly the issue has been all along the hierarchy.
Well, top four will certainly do that for them. You know, Champions League, get them better high caliber players, be more attractive to the club.
Yeah. You wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I got a point though. Like Ollie, there are a lot of Ollie outers, and like I think they've got a point as well. I think like the whole squad is Ollie's though. Like this squad is like Ollie's. Like he bought like around 18 players. He gave a lot of people a new contract. It's his squad. Like he can, he doesn't have a style of play as well. So
no. Stop you. I'm going to stop him right there. They've got no leg to stand on, to be honest, in my opinion. Right?
No.
You're moaning about Ollie out, and you're second. Right? Do you want to be 10?
Ollie,
Arsenal.
No, Stephen, right.
I'm sorry, you're moaning about being second in the league, overachieving with the squad.
Yeah, but 1 minute. Instead of just saying that you're second,
people can't see it.
Yeah, just saying. Oh, you're second. That's not enough. You need to look at the points he's made.
Yeah.
So your first point, the first point you made was this is all Ollie's squad. It's not Ollie's squad.
It's not his squad.
Ollie has got Fred. Fred is not one of Ollie's players. Lindelof is not one of Ollie's players.
Hotspur
You
isn't
look
either.
at the type. Well, no, Maguire was sort of forced upon him because Ollie said I needed a centre back, and Ed Woodward was like, "We'll get Maguire." Jose wanted Maguire.
Hang on, I can go for it. We got the Gea. We got the Gea's not his.
No, yeah, but the quicker way to
I
do
just
it is
want to go through the players. It's not his squad. I wanted to go through the players.
yeah, but look at the players Ollie's brought in, right? Wan-Bissaka, right? That's one of Ollie's players, right?
With Maguire.
Maguire's not one of his.
Alex Tellez.
Tellez is one of Ollie's players.
Tellez.
Then you've got Van der Beek, which I think will very, very much come good for United. Diallo is one of Ollie's players. Greenwood was promoted under
Bruno
Fernandes.
Ollie inherited a lot of this squad. Ollie's had to do a lot of getting rid of dead wood. I mean, look at the likes of Marcus Rojo and Phil Jones and all
Chris
of
Smalling.
these Chris Smalling, all of these rather average players.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of a rebuild, and you have to give. Ollie's had 2 transfer windows, and he's not been like City where you've gone and bought like 4, 5, 6 players at a time. He's been backed with 3 players maximum in every window.
Yeah.
You have to physically give Ollie enough time. You have to look at the squad. Fred and McTominay is not how Ollie wants to play. You look at how Ollie played at Mulder. He played with a DM and a box-to-box midfielder, very attacking formation. The 4-2-3-1 is a very, very attacking formation. It is one of the attacking formations. A double pivot isn't necessarily linked with a 4-2-3-1. So that suggests to me that Ollie does want to be more attacking. We also have to remember Ollie came through
I will also go look at this now, is that you mentioned he started a play, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, when he could come to like big games, most of the time he's more defensive, right? Likes to play a 5-3-2, wants to be.
No, he's more defensive in every match.
Yeah. But what I wanted to finish is that when for example, when they played Liverpool in the FA Cup, you were sort of more expecting the same sort of thing that you've seen in previous big games, but he didn't. He went out. He saw Liverpool were vulnerable. He went out and he took the game to them, right? And yes, it was a very high-scoring game, and it could actually have gone either way, to be honest, because they were so open, right? And I think if it was against a Man City, he would have been destroyed. But because it was a struggling Liverpool side, he could take them on, and he beat them. He beat them fair and square. So to say he hasn't got a style of play is complete rubbish. You've got to have a play to beat what is still one of the best sides in the country.
Yeah, and when people say Ollie has no style or any of that, he does have a style. It's just, unfortunately, he's had to adapt it to the players at his disposal. Ollie cannot play with a DM because there is no one in that club capable of doing it. Now, if he had Matic 5 years ago, then he has one, because Matic is a very, very good defensive midfielder. Unfortunately, Matic is now at the age where he can't do it. Not in the big games anyway. And for me, you have to give Ollie the bit of time to really understand what he needs. Now, if I bet you, if Ollie gets a DM, they automatically will become more expensive. Unfortunately, the issue right now is that they haven't got a shuttler, which is your box-to-box midfielder. No one can carry the ball, which instantly means Bruno has to drop deeper because there's no one to carry that ball upfield. And because you're having to bring Bruno deeper, it is then meaning that your attack has got there's nothing connecting it. So
and that's why it's not
the biggest issue is the DM. If you get a DM and a right winger, that solves so many problems. The other problem is you need a fast centre back, because right now Ollie has to drop that line about 20 yards because neither of them can run, right? And neither of them have got pace to go up against a Vardy. if you instantly get someone with pace, it means that United and Ollie can be more braver and make that line higher, which then compacts the play, which means it's easier to connect the defence to the attack. Right now, things are so spread out and things aren't connected.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's why he's overachieving with what he's got in a minute, and I just believe, I just believe, like people want him out because people want him out. He's gone to what, 6th to top 4, then to 2nd,
7th.
Right? There's progression, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's definite progression, right? Look at Arsenal, for example, right? Where's the progression? Where is it? And he's playing for his Arteta, for example. He wants to play a 4-2-3-1, but he doesn't care about what he's got. He's saying, I'm playing that way, whether we've got the players or not. And we haven't got the players to play that. So we have the players to probably play a 3-4-3, which was what we won the FA Cup with. We have not got the players to play a 4-2-3-1, which is more attacking.
You do, but Ollie has adapted the 4-2-3-1 to fit the players he's got.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't adapt it to fit the squad.
Hence why he plays a double pivot of Fred and McTominay. No one can honestly tell me that is Ollie's ideal pairing. It's just that's the pairing that United have to do with. Firstly, because they need to protect the 2 defenders behind them. And secondly, because neither of them can hold it themselves. I bet you if Scott McTominay or Fred do a DM role on their own, that instantly changes everything for United. But there's a lot of issues, and Ollie is slowly fixing these issues. And also, I'll put it this way, Ed Woodward loves Ollie. Ed Woodward absolutely adores Ollie. He's the first manager that Ed Woodward's even listened to. I mean, let's not forget that Ed Woodward told Jose Mourinho, you don't need Matthias de Ligt, you got Phil Jones. I mean, barring the massively ridiculous comment that is, Ed Woodward is listening to Ollie. There is no way you tell me that Amad Diallo is one of.
Yeah, but the thing is now Ed Woodward's not listening to that. They've got the new director of football coming in as well. Who
do you think that's come from? That's not come from Ed.
Yeah,
Woodward.
I know that.
That's come from Ollie. Ollie is, and unless John Matuf has got an extremely good record at United. He's one of the reasons why Hannibal was brought into United. He's one of the main reasons why United went and bought Charlie McNeil off Man City for 1.5 million. He's one of the reasons that Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, Scott McTominay, Dean Henderson, and others were all brought through the youth setup and into the first team. So what they've done is they've promoted someone with very good knowledge of United, who's done a very good job, into a more sort of senior role. And Darren Fletcher is a technical director who is going to be linking the youth academy with the first team with the board. There's no one better because Darren Fletcher understands, firstly, his analysis of his analysis of the game is top quality. It's always very respected by everyone. And he understands United. He's a United boy. He's the DNA of United. That's what makes him so good in that technical role. But look, United are going in the right direction. You just need to give it time. Nothing happens overnight. This is not Football Manager. Keep saying this. It's not Football Manager. We're in the real world. In the midst of COVID as well, which hasn't made any job easy.
Yeah, I totally hear you. Just quickly answering this guy's DM.
Even when like the newspapers were sort of debating, Solskjaer's going to leave soon. It's like he's got a game to save his career. I don't even think he was under pressure. In reality, I think it was just all talk from the media and non-United fans.
Well, that's beside the point.
Yeah, well, the quick answer to that is of course he would. But is Ollie doing a bad job? No, he isn't. He's doing a good job. And we need to give it time to see what he achieves. I mean, there's definitely progression under Ollie, and that is why you.
I could hear your point if he got the players he needed and he still ain't performing.
But then we're in a different kettle of fish. If he had got Sancho, got an Ndidi, got a Delit,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
were still not achieving, and they still couldn't get past the semi-final.
Then you
And they
could
still
justify
weren't
getting rid
challenging
of
for the
him.
title.
Mm.
Absolutely. But right now, you look at the players. He's playing with Lindelof and Maguire, Fred and McTominay, and no natural right winger. That alone is huge.
My mate will come good. Yeah, probably.
He's already come good.
He's already come good. I think though he will be probably gone at the end of the season.
I could see him
so,
leaving. Maybe PSG, where he can kind of boss the league a little bit like he did in Serie A.
Can go one.
He could go back to France. Yeah, he could go back to France.
It could go one of two ways. If I know it's again who they bring in. If they bring in a DM, you can keep Pogba because Pogba can play box to box. He's his preferred.
He's going to go to Olympiacos and win the league.
Oh God!
Could you imagine though?
Pogba's wage is probably bigger than the entire Olympiacos wage bill. In all honesty,
But imagine a midfield with Pogba and Bruno.
His transfer fee to Manchester United is worth more than our squad worth on Transfermarkt.
Jesus Christ,
that is insane. But just
that just says it all. It shows like the level of where the Premier League is in comparison to not only the other top 5 leagues, but certainly the leagues outside of the top 5. You know, if you look where the Greek Super League is, that's a different conversation altogether. But that's why credit comes to us being able to compete against teams at times like Manchester United, like Juventus, like Atletico Madrid. Like, I'm not saying we would consistently compete with them, but there have been times where we've been able to go into a one-off game and beat those teams. So that's where credit has to be given to us to be able to compete in Europe despite coming from a vastly weaker league.
I've always respected the likes of Olympiacos. I mean, it screams the FA Cup for me. Like when we see a giant killing in the FA Cup, like when a plucky League One side goes to a Premier League team and knocks them out the FA Cup.
Yeah.
It's very similar to that, and credit to them.
Because do I think we're on the level of those kind of teams? God, no, because they're super clubs. We're nowhere near the level in terms of the infrastructure. But to compete with those teams is what we ultimately like to see, and when we do that, it's great. It gives us a good time as fans.
I mean, you've got yourselves. You've got what? PAOK. Panathinaikos.
Yeah, we need them back in Europe, Panathinaikos. We need them back in Europe, really, because they're one of the only teams that have shown any anything.
When they used to be in the Champions League.
Yeah. Well, at one point, the Greek Super League had three Champions League places. Now there isn't even one. It's first qualifiers for the champion.
The answer to that question is absolutely not, because United haven't employed a former player as director of football. They've employed a former player.
His name on base.
I don't know what that means, but yes, I'm going to say yeah. No, I mean again, Neymar is probably worth more than. He's probably not even worth. He's not just worth more than Olympiacos' squad. He's probably worth more than every single Greek Super League squad currently because of based on the fee that is.
Why can you get Rice when you can get someone like an Ndidi?
Right, and he's made two points. I can't remember what his first comment was. I'll just look at it. Talking Barca's made two comments. What was it? So do you think do you think Arsenal and United are doing the same thing, ex-players as DOF? No, because United haven't employed an ex-player as DOF. They've employed an ex-player as technical director. United are now going down the Chelsea route a little bit, which I think will benefit United. And then, so do you think Oli needs Rice, Sancho and Koundé? He needs Sancho and Koundé, or a similar player to Koundé. Someone with pace is exactly what they need.
Why get Rice when he can get Ndidi?
Defensive midfielders, I would say Rice is a very good one, but it's not quite what you want. He plays in a double pivot as well at West Ham with Souček. I was more on the inclined to go for an Ndidi, a Bissouma, and considering Barcelona have money issues, De Jong. If you can walk up to Barcelona and go, we'll give you this much for De Jong, then that really does solve a lot of your problems. That's the caliber of player I'm thinking. not necessarily a Declan Rice, whilst I think Declan is very good. Is he quite at the level of an elite player at a top 6 club fighting for the Champions
Well, maybe
League?
United would be a place where he can prove that. And the weird thing is, I could see Rice going to United just on the basis of the fact that he's English. And United have kind of had that weird transfer policy for the most part, as of late, where they've been signing a lot of English players. So it screams like a United signing. Whether it's the right fit or not is a different question.
Have you seen Maguire's latest comments? Apparently, he's asked for the next centre back to be English, so that there's no like sort of translation issues. I'm like,
yeah, this is the same guy who accused Greek officers in wherever he was, Santorini or wherever, from threatening him, and it turns out him and his mates were beating them up instead. So, you know,
it's so funny. He has now turned into a meme on my channel. Like, someone put in the comments, he walks down the stairs and smacks his wife and says, "Do you know who I am?" Like, it's he is absolutely. It wouldn't surprise me if next he's asking for Nigel Farage as flaming manager or something, because it looks like Harry Maguire's gone all BMP on us. Like, it's absolutely horrific. And also, how did a centre back who has a massive, great big forehead who can't put the ball in the back of the net?
Well, they've got Phil. They've still got Phil Jones. Like, you could ask Ollie to have him back in the squad.
I think United fans will then riot, and then I think Ollie would have to.
I'd be happy.
It's the pink boats, Marcus. Pink boats.
I just don't think. Look, the captain. If the captain was any good, I'd have no issue with the captain maybe slightly saying, well, this would be a good one. But when you've got a captain who is pretty shit at their job and still can't score a great big forehead, do I think he should be dictating transfer policy for one of the biggest clubs in English football? No. That's the simple answer to that. That's like having Rob Holding dictate Arsenal's transfer policy. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks for everyone that's tuned in. And yeah, thank you, Stephen and Noel, for coming on
Thanks for having
show.
me.
Yes, don't forget we've got the Liver Awareness Show at 6 p.m, which is a kidney disease special, actually, because one of our regulars has a kidney transplant, as well as a friend of mine's waiting for one at the minute, and he can't get it. He can't get it at the minute because of COVID. So we're doing one of them sort of awareness shows. Plus, if anyone wants to raise any issues as well that they're struggling with, they can come on and share it. And yeah, and then after that, we've got the watch along for Man City, Rundgren Gladbach, which hopefully will be more entertaining game. And I'm not sure about. I was going to bring up news about Rui Patricio's injury, because that was awful.
Apparently he's not. It's not as serious as it first appeared to be. Apparently he's doing okay.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact they didn't show replays was just shows how bad it was.
Well, yeah, of course he got a knee to the temple. Of course, that's going to cause a lot of issues. But Nuno came out and said that he's conscious and doing okay and remembers everything, which is vital, really. With any knock to the head, the fact that he's conscious and that he remembers what happened is hugely important.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to try and see if I can get it. I swear I put a clip up.
I think that will be the only news. I don't see Wolves diverging much more than that. Especially considering it was last night. Like, he probably has been checked out. He's probably gone to the hospital today, or
we'll find out more in their next game, whenever that may be.
Yeah. If someone did know what happened,
I feel for Nuno, because that's 2 head injuries that man.
Yeah, look.
This season.
Oof.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, that's bad.
Crack. Ouch.
Salah.
I don't think it was Saturday. It was actually one of his defenders that caught him.
Yeah, Connor Cody.
Yeah, that's why Cody was a little bit distraught over it. Oh, look, Harry Kane trying to cheat. Sorry. Someone said you do F1. Yes, we do F1. And me and Noel are just disagreeing on every single point. I might have to. No, we do F1 and football and Arsenal. So yeah, so we cover loads of content. So keep your eyes out for that, especially with the season coming back. But yeah, thanks for everyone that's tuned in, and yeah, we'll speak to you guys. We'll see you guys at 6 p.m. Take care.